Hello, sixth grade. We are now doing Unit 2, Lesson 9, Job Speech. We're still doing the speech, analyzing the evidence based claims. So, analyzing evidence based claims. So, that means we're going to use the evidence that we have to support what it is we're saying, kind of like what we did in our last um, the lesson before this when we were doing Percy Jackson, citing text evidence. You just need to use what we know from the story, and you go back and use that to support your argument. Okay, so here we have um, 5 paragraphs that I'm going to read out loud, and you need to read along with me. And we'll go over what our assignment is. Life offers many opportunities to make choices. Life can be both easy and hard. When we make choices during the easy or hard times, we are either surviving or thriving. Steve Jobs used his rules in his life to help him thrive. He did this despite being orphaned, dropping out of college, being fired, and having cancer. In his commencement address to Stanford University in 2005, Jobs shared his 3 rules to follow in order to thrive in life. While remembering his Reed College days, Steve Jobs shared his first rule: you have to trust in something. He told the graduates that each choice in our lives is a dot, and we should trust in those choices. He said this was more important than spending time worrying about how all the dots connect in the future. Jobs followed his rule to trust his gut and enrolled in a calligraphy class, and that led to the typefaces and spacing used in computers today. Following the rule to trust in something helped Jobs thrive in life because he trusted in himself and didn't spend energy worrying about the future. So he was in the now. Okay, even though Jobs trusted in himself along the way, not everything worked out as he had planned. At the age of 30, he was fired from Apple, his own company. This led him to discover his second rule: love what you do and do what you love. Jobs overcame being fired and followed that rule. He continued doing what he loved, working on computer systems and starting companies such as Pixar. By choosing to do what he loved, Steve Jobs stayed true to himself and thrived regardless of the tough times. During his life, Jobs overcame many hardships, like being fired from Apple and surviving his first diagnosis of cancer in 2005. Even before he survived his first round of cancer, he lived by his third rule: live each day as if it were your last. Jobs followed his heart and intuition with the calligraphy class. He found courage to get over fears of what others thought about him after getting fired from Apple. He knew death was a part of life, and remembering this each day helped him ensure he was doing what he really wanted most days of his life. By living the rule, Jobs thrived. Steve Jobs taught us that thriving is about trusting ourselves while also keeping the perspective that life is temporary. Despite hardships, Steve Jobs followed his 3 rules to live by: trust in something, do what you love, and let death give you life. Were he alive today, he might even say this: don't just have rules, actually follow them if you want to thrive in life. Okay, so let's go over what we read. Those are 3 rules that we need to pay attention to. The first rule was you have to trust in something. And in Steve Jobs' case, he trusted in himself. Um, love what you do and do what you love. If you got to work every day, it'd be nice to do something that you enjoy doing. And thirdly, his third rule was live each day as if it were your last, because tomorrow is not promised to anybody, and we might have heard that from older people. So you're going to choose one of those in this assignment, and then you're going to explain the rule that you chose. You are going to use text evidence. And we know when we use text evidence, we use quotation marks to let the reader know, which I am the reader, know that you got this information from what you read. So you're going to go back up to the five paragraphs that we just went over, and you're going to go back and you're going to use that as proof to explain the rule that you're talking about. You're going to use one sentence in your own words explaining it, but you're going to also go back to where you found it in the reading. Okay, so let's explain the claim. So you need to trust in something. So he followed this rule to trust his gut and enrolled in calligraphy class. Jobs thrived in life because he trusted himself and didn't spend time and energy worrying about what other people thought. Sometimes you just got to put that aside. It's not always easy to do, but sometimes that's what you have to. You have to trust yourself. If the second rule, love what you do and do what you love, he overcame being fired and followed that rule. By choosing to do something he loved. I mean, time goes by so much faster, and we know that personally when we're in class and we do something we love. He's like, "Oh my goodness, Miss Summers, it's already time to go," because you're not worried about time. So Steve Jobs stayed true to himself and thrived regardless because through those tough times because he was doing something he enjoyed doing. And then his last rule was live each day as if it were your last. He followed his heart and his intuition, his gut. And when they say the gut, they mean your intuition, that feeling that you get with the calligraphy class, and found the courage to get over his fears of what other people thought about him. So even though he was dealt challenges with being fired, not having parents, being an orphan, kind of like how not Buddy was, and being diagnosed with cancer. He put all of those things aside and people's judgmental views about him and did what he wanted to, and he still ended up being great. Okay, so you're going to choose one of those three rules, one, and then you're going to explain it. You're going to first put it in your own words, and then you're going to go back into the 5 paragraphs and find a sentence that supports what you're saying. Okay. I'm looking forward to reading great answers when you're done, and then you're done with all your other work. Silent reading would be nice, and you need to get outside and get some fresh air. All right, until the next lesson, this is goodbye.